seem a little strange to start out a sermon in a cemetery, but today I'm going to be sharing my story and the faces that have impacted my life and my walk with Jesus Christ. Today I stand here in a cemetery at Paynes Point Lutheran Church in Chena, and I look around and here's my great-grandparents' headstone, and right next to it is my grandparents. My grandparents are still alive, but their headstone is still there. In this cemetery, there are many generations of both Shelley and my family. We believe they were attending this church together, praying for their children, their grandchildren, and even their great-grandchildren years and years ago. Right here is where Shelley's great-grandparents are buried. We also hear that her great-great-grandparents are buried in this cemetery somewhere and worshipped in this church. Right here lies Pastor Gary's dad and Shelley's grandpa, Willis Turner, who was a major face in my walk with Jesus Christ. This is a church where several generations of my family have worshiped together. Can you imagine seeing little Timmy running around this congregation in this church? Then look back even further to see my grandparents and my great-grandparents, Shelley's grandparents and her family being changed and worshiping here at this church. Here in this sanctuary, there were baptisms, and there has been weddings, and there has been funerals. In this sanctuary, many people who have influenced my lives have been spiritually fed. Here at First Christian Church in Oregon, my mom and dad were water baptized. They were also a deacon and deaconess here. I remember them filling communion cups every Sunday morning for our communion. I look back to my years here at First Christian Church in Oregon, and I remember the faces that have influenced my life. My Sunday school teachers, the pastors, and the elders and the deacons, and all the family of the church here at First Christian Church in Oregon. This is where it all began. This is where I grew up. From the time I was an infant until 19 years old. This is Mom and Dad's house. This is where my Christianity began. Here's where I was raised in a Christian home where my mom and dad taught me morals and ethics. That created a great foundation for the biblical knowledge that would come later in my life. I'm standing here where my elementary school used to stand. It burnt down a few years ago. I have special memories of Wednesdays when we would go to Christian education class in the Brethren Church right over my shoulder. I don't remember the faces. I honestly don't remember all the stories, but what I do know is they helped shape my spiritual walk.
Let my life song sing to you. Let my life song sing to you.
Another place where people affected my life and influenced my spiritual walk with Jesus was Family Bible Fellowship in Rockford. Family Bible Fellowship is a church that Pastor Gary planted. It was a church that Shelley brought me to when we started dating. It's also the church where I was water baptized. There were many faces of influence at Family Bible Fellowship. Willis Turner was a big influence in my life, in my spiritual walk. Bob Petrie was a big influence on my life. Many faces that helped shape me and to help me in my spiritual walk and to get to know Jesus Christ better. After Shelley and I felt a call into ministry, we went to Bible college. And after Bible college, we came back here, and this was a church that I pastored. That brings us here, to New Life Bible Church. I've had many faces of influence throughout my life that have helped me in my spiritual walk with Jesus Christ. And that has put me here as one of the pastors at New Life Bible Church. At New Life Bible Church, there's been many people that have influenced my walk with Jesus Christ. I look back over the years, and I thank God every day for those people who have made a difference in my life. Today in my message, I'm going to focus on the importance of our influence in the lives of those around us? Whose life are you making a difference in? Are you making a kingdom difference in those lives around you? Who have you come encounter with, face to face, that you can help influence to come face to face with Jesus Christ?
Go tell it